Made some changes on the 24th. Well, I'd say before the 24th. It's probably around the week of that time, I would say, probably. On the concurring date, uh, it was issued, it was probably issued a week before that. So it probably came out on the 17th. So the 17th is um, when I started to, the views started to be counted as less than that. So yeah, well, this video will probably be about 10 minutes long, depending on how long it really, um, depending on how much it's really counted. Um, um, in theory, I would say theoretically. So yeah, not very much. In theoretical. So I have a friend by the name of, I don't want to really tell what it is. Our week has been pretty well the same. There, in theory, and I don't want to disclose of what my benefits are. Well, I'm not completely. I'm not completely monetized yet. And I'm still waiting to be monetized. And yeah, so that's a good thing. So yeah, so yeah. For that, um, I do make two videos a day, periodically, and then in long form. Um, yeah, probably about one a week, depending on how much the video length it is. And I've been noticing that my views have been dropping theoretically. So this mug is my grandmother that passed away a few years ago, back in 2024. So not 2024, but in 2021. So yeah, yeah, that wasn't last year, but it was a few years ago. So yeah, probably around 2021 or 2022. So she was somebody that was pretty well important to me, especially in my life. She was my dad's uh, mother, basically. Ever since then, I had a hard time with my dad. Since then, he's trying to be pushing me to get into volunteering, and then back last year itself, I've been doing volunteering, not far from here itself, and then I stopped doing that, and then that's when I started. I got accepted by the by YouTube, and that's when I had the this. Uh, I would I officially. It took me a few years, a few months, I'd say, to get accepted by YouTube to get into what I think it was in 2019. That's all I started posting. But it was only probably two photos, but the videos were so short that eventually itself, yeah. Well, I have I have other platforms that I use periodically. Not TikTok, but Tumblr that I've had. But I had, but I do have other platforms that I typically use for that I use for photos as well as videos. And one of them is Google Photos for posting videos. Well, I have a pretty good, solid phone theoretically, which is Fuji VMAX that I bought last year. I would think. I think it was the beginning of the year, and I had bought I bought that phone as well as my e-bike, and my e-bike came from. China, and it was an instant wheel e-bike. After a couple of years, I think I had a hard time trying to the first point in the beginning. I had a hard time trying to assemble it because I found that it was I the first time at that point I had I had mocked up the I had mocked up the I had mocked up the pedals and look at this. I had mocked up the pedals and screwed up the pedal assembly. The first time that it was mailed to me was sometime in March last year, and then I found out that I had to reorder a whole pack of parts on Amazon just to try to get it to be fixed, and it cost me almost close to $900 just to fix it. And I was amazed that it was I before in 2024 I had to save a lot of money trying to buy just to buy the bike, and just when I had come up with a bit of a plan to basically buy the bike as well as the as well as the phone. But the phone was the most expensive because it was close to 800 as well as the other one, and I was able to pay to get them to get both in sequence, and because of the association, I was able to get both the phone as well as the bike. But it was I think it was the first time that I had a flat on my back rear tire that that lasted all the way to this year that I had to that I had that I had such a good friend who was able to actually fix the tire for me and replace the back tire completely because I went through almost like two tires in a row trying to fix it, and then when the box when with the tire thing, it was amazing how I was in. I managed to keep the tools that I got with it, and then I managed to get two air inflators that I bought. I still have one that I have, and a battery. And I was able the second time when I was here, I was able to actually uh, pretty well inflate it. Fire brother, and then the second time when that was the video I just made recently. That's where I found that it was pretty well. Um, it wrote pretty well, but it was really when I before I actually took it out, I found out there was actually something with the pedal assist, and that's the piece that's on the end of the bike that controls the because I have on my e-bike I have a display that that's that's like this, so you can see very well that it's like a display, and I've seen other people on on Isn't Wheel that have the same thing that had never had a problem since they bought it, and excuse me, turn this fan off. So yeah, after apparently having the pedal fixed and having the rear tire fixed, I managed to have ask him to actually replace the front tire, and it's not quite done yet, but it will be. I think sometime before actually September, but it could be sometime next year itself. I don't know when, but I've I'm thinking that He'll probably do it before September, but I don't know. But it's not very big of a problem. So uh, because now I've got a pretty good lock there, and I before 2025 arrived, I had bought a I had bought two alarms that I had for the when I was when I was living at the other house. I bought an alarm for the garage to prevent somebody from stealing it because the previous year, I didn't have an electric bike, but I had a bike that cost about $500 roughly, and that's the one my father actually bought me, and I had that one stolen because it was an Amazon a delivery guy actually stole it from the garage, and so what happened is that's when I had the initiative of actually buying one that was less expensive, and one that was made out of a pretty good material. And because I still have a pretty good helmet, I have two of them. I have one that's down here, one that's battery powered, and so yeah, so yeah. So I went through basically through three tires, yeah, three tires, and so it's a very big difference, but basically, so yeah, that's pretty good. And I think I'm gonna end the video here. End the recording.